Hi everybody, welcome to Mo Tech Sales YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to be talking about what tech sales is and how much does it pay. So you're probably looking around the internet looking for a video that actually explains what tech sales is and how much does it actually pay. And before I get started, I just want to let you know that there are nearly 13 million salespeople in America alone that are working in sales. Sales is one of the most in-demand career fields, but they have a limited supply. And with the new rise of technology, we are seeing a huge growth potential, a huge spike in tech sales. Tech sales is one of the most lucrative sales careers to have because it has a different pay structure, right? It's not like your typical traditional 100% commission paying sales role. Tech sales offers base pay on top of your commission, meaning that you can look to get anywhere between 30K for base all the way up to 90K I've seen, and that's just for entry level. That's not even taking into the fact of your commissions. Now, of course, if you're in sales, you know that you earn commission based off your performance. So if you're a sales development representative or business development representative, you get paid for the amount of qualified appointments that you set up. Or in some cases, you get paid for the appointments that you set up in general. So that's something to take into accountability. So like I said, in this video, I go over what it is, how to get into it, pros and cons, what that career path also looks like. But I also want to let you know that tech sales is not for everybody. Many people ask me, how do you actually get into tech sales? If you want to know the quickest way to get into tech sales and just cut to the chase, get right to the point, click the link down below. I have a link to a free Course Careers introductory course to tech sales. Now, if you want to take it a step further and actually get certified in tech sales, which I highly recommend, especially if you don't have any experience, then also go through that same link. With my affiliate link, you're able to save $50, which is huge in today's economy. Good $50 off of that payment, and just go ahead and take the course, get certified, and all that good stuff. So that way you're actually able to land a job in tech sales. And also, I came out with a whole 1 and 2 part series on how, like, the tech sales blueprint of what it is, how to get started in it, how to get certified, how to apply for jobs and actually stand out, and how to do very, very good in your tech sales interview. So I left all those links down below. Make sure to check all that out, and also make sure to subscribe if you actually enjoyed this video and found this video useful. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so what is tech sales and how much does it actually pay? This is what we're going to be talking about: what tech sales is, what tech sales career path looks like, how much different tech sales roles pay, the pros and cons of tech sales career, and how to most importantly break into tech sales. So let's get started. So the first question is, what is tech sales? Tech sales is pretty much the definition within the word. The tech sales rep or the tech sales rep is in charge of selling technology to either business to business or business to consumers. Most of the time, it's a software as is service or software as a service, which is known as SaaS sales. And then in other cases, you're just selling technology. So a tech salesperson would be the one to pitch a company's new service that can increase their bottom line, right? So this is a powerful career path that can actually bring you a lot of money, because sales is essentially the lifeline. It's the lifeblood to business's success. So you may be wondering exactly what a sales representative or what a tech sales person does throughout the day. They're pretty much in charge of calling people on the phone and trying to convince them to buy a product or service. And in reality, what they're doing is getting that prospect to agree to a meeting, right? And we're going to go through the different roles and essentially that a tech sales career embodies. But for right now, as a just entry level tech sales rep, your job is to call potential clients, potential leads, potential prospects, and give them a short pitch and ask them for a meeting, ask them for a call. And essentially, what you're doing is building up your pipeline because sales is a numbers game. If I call 100 people, depending on my conversion rate, if I have a 50% conversion rate, which is great, out of those 50 people, that actually pick up, I'll be able to convince of those 100 people that actually pick up, I'll be able to convince 50% or 50 people to actually agree to a meeting. And then from that meeting, they go down the sales funnel. So essentially, a tech sales representative, especially for entry level, is just somebody that makes phone calls to leads and builds up their pipeline for the company that they work for. All right. And that's what's so cool about tech sales. It's not like a slimy or just a grimy car salesman or somebody that's just in the Walmart trying to convince you to buy DirecTV or something. Like, the tech sales rep has to foster a relationship with their potential clients and customers and really take their time in the sales process. Really build and nurture a relationship because essentially it's more so like a partnership, right? And so that's what a tech sales rep is doing. They have to have a deeper level of understanding about the company's product or service in order to tailor their pitch properly to different companies, right? This is why tech sales is such a lucrative and high paying skill set because you have to master both the technology as well as the people skills. You have to know how to negotiate with people, figure out what their pain points are. And you do this just by asking discovery questions and things like that. So just making sure that you really have a deeper level of understanding. So what does the tech sales career path look like? All right. So as you may or may not know, a sales development representative or a business development representative is simply it's the entry level role to a tech sales career. So, and then this is also known as an SDR/BDR role. But what this position entails is that you are qualifying inbound leads as well as finding outbound leads via cold call or cold email. And as an SDR or BDR, your role on the sales team is to simply set up meetings with prospects that are ready and able to buy or are just simply interested in your product or service. So your job is to set up meetings and pass the prospects along the sales process to the account executive so that the account executive can actually close the deal. Right? Okay, so an account executive is known for the closer. They are the closer. So an account executive's job is to close the deal, right? The account executive helps customers once they help customers along the way. They help customers along the buying process. So essentially, they're providing them with information and product demos, as well as negotiating prices to customers and helping them get to that finish line of closing the deal, right? And so when you get to this point in your career, you have to be good at like explaining the product, most importantly, pulling out things about the product that really would be attractive to the prospect or the lead, and things like that. So just something to keep in mind. And then also you need to have really good negotiating skills as well. Okay. All right. So next we have the account manager or customer success manager. So the sales development representative and the account executives have, I guess, the hardest job in my opinion, and then more so the account executive because they ultimately have to close it. But the account managers and customer success managers are the client's go-to when they need help. They're, and then for a account manager or a customer success manager, they their responsibility is to help the customers who have already bought the software or service, and their job is to simply assist the customers in ensuring that they are renewing their service rather than buying a different software with a different company, right? So they help minimize the churn, which is when people or clients get done with the product or service and their subscription is about to end, and the client decides not to stick with the company that they got the software from. They have their eyes on another company that may have better software or just better customer support. So the customer success manager, their job is to, sometimes they'll try to upsell. They're going to be watching the client's accounts, making sure that the clients are getting the best use out of the account. But for example, the company that I work for, the customer success manager is simply there to upsell their clients, right? And in my opinion, customer success managers have a little bit more relaxed job because the clients that they work with have already bought services from them. And if you know anything about buyer psychology, once you buy something from somebody once, you're most likely going to buy it from them again, especially if you've already fostered a good relationship with the company and you enjoy the product and the service, and you feel as though that company has your best interests, right? So by that time the customer is already familiar with the product and service, and so they'll be more loyal. Okay. All right. So how much does tech sales actually pay? And this is really just dependent on what your role is. So as I said early in this video, SDR, BDR is entry level. So SDRs with 3+ years of experience can make on average 10K more than their peers with 2 years or less experience, obviously, right? But when you're first starting out, you can look anywhere between 45K to 90K. And I'm basing it off of the 25th percentile all the way to the 75th percentile, meaning low performing, low paying, to high performing, high paying, right? And guys, keep in mind, a lot of this has to do with how you perform. As I stated in my other videos, when you are working as a sales development representative or a business development representative or just in tech in general, you get a base pay. And so that base pay literally can range anywhere between 45K to 75K in base for starting out. Now, on top of that, you get commissions for it just depends. Like some companies, they'll pay you per every qualified opportunity that you get, or some companies will pay you for just any opportunity that you bring to them in general. It just depends, right? But all of this, all this money that you can potentially make is dependent on your experience, your skill set level, And then some of it also depending on where you live, but most importantly, it's dependent on how determined you are to hit your quota and even excel your quota. Because if you excel at your quota, like you blow your quota out of the water, most of these companies will give you bonuses. They'll give you spliffs. They'll give you accelerators just for outperforming the competition, just from outperforming your peers, right? So just something to keep in mind. And that's for the first 2 years. Now, if you have 3 to 5 years of experience in your belt, you can expect to get anywhere between 50K to 110K. All right. So next we have an account executive. And the account executive is what we call you made it with the big dogs, because now you're going to start closing deals, right? So you're officially on the big league. And then it's very important that you have a great attitude with this position. Of course, as you can see, you get a pay bump, because you get more money when you're actually the one that's closing the deal. And so that's very, very cool. Like my manager for the company I work for right now was telling me how they have account executives that are making 150K a year just because they're very, very good at their job, right? And so if you want to shoot for that, then anything is possible. And a low performing account executive at a small company may be able to make 90K, right? While performing very high. But let's say if you work for a major company like Oracle, Salesforce, Zoom Info, you know, you could be making over 400K a year, guys. But the average salary for this role ranges anywhere between 180K to 220K a year, and that is huge. And that's just if you're hitting quota. So something to really, really think about. And it just goes back to what I was saying about how, tech sales is very, very lucrative. All right. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about customer success managers. Customer success managers, like I said, they have a more relaxed job. And so they can be expected to be compensated roughly anywhere between 120K a year to 150K a year if they hit their bonus, right? Now I want to get into some of the pros and the cons of tech sales career, of getting into a tech sales role. Of course, the obvious. You earn high, like you have a potential of earning a lot of money because there's a high demand for tech sales reps, but there's a low supply, right? And so when you are good at your job, the company will pay you. And that's really why I love sales so much and why I'm determined to get better and better every day, because tech sales, just sales in general, is one of the only jobs where you get paid for your performance. So if you outperform people, you get compensated for it. Whenever I was a cook at a restaurant, I didn't get compensated for busting my ass and working more than the next person beside me. We got paid the same amount, right? When I got into sales, I was able to make more money because I was outperforming people. I was outperforming myself every single day. And that's why I love sales so much. Next, we have a fast-paced and exciting work environment. Me personally, I love this because it's nothing but friendly competition. All the companies that I work with in sales have pushed me to be great, have pushed me to keep going. And then we do these little races with each other where we get paid money for getting the most, ops or the most sales and things like that. So it's very exciting, it's very motivating, and it keeps you on your toes. It keeps you on your toes. It keeps you quick, sharp, you know? Opportunities for growth and advancement. When you become an SDR or BDR, your job is not to stay there forever. Your job is to get promoted within 9 to 14 months of being there. Get promoted into a closing role, right? So there's plenty of opportunities for growth and career advancements from being in tech sales. There's a low barrier of entry because a lot of people are honestly afraid of sales. They're afraid of being told no. They're afraid of somebody cursing them out on the phone. I used to do door to door. The first time I ever knocked on somebody's door, I was terrified. And so I get it. It's the fear of rejection. It's the fear of being judged. And so that's why the entry level, there's such a low barrier of entry because a lot of people don't find that sexy. Well, I do, and I hope you do too. There's a high demand for tech sales skills. I just said that. There's a high demand for it, guys. It's because a lot of people are afraid of doing this, of stepping out of their comfort zone. So it's a grind. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, it's just butterflies and rainbows. No, ma'am, no, sir. It is a grind, and you gotta work. Especially if you're in the outbound, you gotta hit your numbers. You gotta plant your seeds. You gotta water your seeds. You gotta build your pipeline. You gotta stay on that grind day in and day out, and you get paid for it. You get paid to perform good. So, and there's also a lot of transferable skills, like, for example, being able to communicate with somebody, being able to negotiate with somebody, being able to work with somebody, being able to persuade somebody, right? Being able to help somebody. Those skill sets will take you a long way. Being able to take responsibility for what you did and own your shit and own your numbers. That takes a lot of responsibility, and it's very transferable if you decide later on down the road, hey, I have my experience in tech sales, however, it's not for me. I'm looking for other career opportunities. Those skill sets that you learned in sales will take you a long way. Like when I went door to door, it was hard, it was rough, but it taught me to have a good attitude about things, especially the things I couldn't control. It taught me the importance of brightening people's day and how simply saying their name in a sentence and acknowledging that you know their name will take you a long way. So that's something cool about it too. And then most tech jobs are remote, and this is something I really, really enjoy because I work better at home. I don't know if you're like me and you're watching this and you really enjoy working from home, but I love working from home, guys. If it was up to me, I would barely ever go out. I mean, I go out, go work out, you know, go bowl, but I enjoy being at the house. And so most tech jobs are remote because all you need is your computer and some good Wi-Fi and a place to sit your laptop down and work. Okay. So now let's move over to the cons because there's always good and bad. The cons of tech sales is it's simply unpredictable income. Now, I did say earlier that you do get a base plus commission. Yes, but that commission part is solely based off of your performance. So let's say, for example, you get your base pay, okay, but you don't hit your numbers that month, then you could be missing some money that you could have potentially got if you would have hit your quota. You can actually be fired for missing your quota because that is how your performance is measured. Your performance is measured solely based most of the time, your performance is measured solely based off of your quota. So you always want to do that. Always want to hit your quota. And then sellers often face rudeness and abuse from prospects. This is so true. If you're not ready to get cursed out, if you're not ready to have somebody say, "Hey, don't message me no more. Hey, I don't want a meeting with you. No, I'm good. I'm good. Leave me alone." And they're cursing at you. They're saying rude things. Then tech sales is not for you. You have to get a thick skin, and if you don't have one and you want to be in tech sales, you better grow thick skin just overnight. Take it with a grain of salt. It's all about attitude, guys. So when you're calling people, let's say you call somebody and they're like, "Leave me alone, stop calling me, mother blah 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 blah," and you say, "Yes sir, yes ma'am, have a good day," hang up the phone, on to the next one. But you can't take that negative call that you just had and bring it into the next call, because people can feel that. Even if you're not in front of their face, they can hear it in your voice if you're upset. So it's important to protect your attitude. Like every time I call somebody, my brain resets. Like, okay, I may have had a bad interaction with the other call I just had, but on this call, I'm gonna reset my attitude, and I'm gonna act like that call never happened, and I'm going to protect my attitude. I'm going to protect my energy. I'm gonna give this person that just answered the phone my best, right? My best, my positive, my "so glad you answered the phone. Wanted to give you a quick call. Thank you for picking up the phone," right? So, and then also being in tech sales requires high technical skills and study. So you need to know your product, especially when you start getting closing roles. You got to know your product or service. You got to know what you have. You got to know how that can benefit the customer that you're talking to, or the potential customers. All right. People have been asking me, "Maury, how do you get into tech sales?" Well, you're in luck, guys, because I made a whole video talking about how to actually transition into tech sales, right? Now, I'm going to go ahead and leave that video down below, and it should be in the cards too, but I made a part 1 and a part 2. Part 1, I talk about what that roadmap looks like. I talk about how to get your LinkedIn up, how to write your resume, what your resume is supposed to look like, where you need to get your education. Because quite frankly, if you don't have any education or any experience in tech sales, then you're most likely not going to get the job, just being honest. However, if the hiring manager sees, "Oh, wow, ooh, this person got a certificate. Ooh, this person's LinkedIn looks nice. Ooh, this person's on LinkedIn networking. Ooh," they know about sales cycle. They know about the sales process. They know what SalesLoft is. They know what Salesforce is. You're going to be more attractive. Ooh, they know how to sell. They know about prospecting. Ooh, they know what a cold call script looks like. They know what cold email. When you have to have the education first, right? If you don't have the experience, get the education. I recommend Course Careers. I will leave the link down below. Course Careers is what helped me get into tech. It's honestly what helped me get into tech. You can take the free course. They do have a free introductory course. However, if you actually want to get into tech sales, go ahead and take the course. Make an investment on yourself, because it's going to pay you back. I promise. If you follow that blueprint that I put out, it's down below. It's a whole video. It's 2-part. In the second part, I talk about what to say on your interviews when you start getting interviews. In the first part, I talk about how to actually get interviews, But if you actually want to get into tech, start with Course Careers. Click the link down below. You get $50 off. Please message me on LinkedIn and let me know that you have took that step. Because I'll have people that will sign up and I don't even, I want to meet, I want to talk to them and help them, you know? I feel like it's my duty. So please message me. I can be your personal coach. And if you're struggling with that course, message me. You can also put a time on my calendar and let me know, like, hey, I need help with this. Hey, can you explain what this means? Hey, how do I get prepared for the final exam? I got interviews, thank God. How to get, mock interviews. I need help. Let me know. So, anyways, that's how you transition into tech. You first need to have some kind of knowledge about what tech sales is. You have to understand the basics of selling. So, sales skills is a must. And if you don't have sales skills, acquire those sales skills by getting educated about what it is. Do your research. Tailor your pitch and start applying for jobs. I already have those 2 videos out that tells you how to do all that. But with that being said, I don't want to make this video too long. I have to go start with my job, but I just wanted to come on here real quick and just make this quick video about how what is tech sales and how much does it pay. As you can see, obviously it's very lucrative. And yeah, so I'll see you on the next video. Bye.